Okay. Well, hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us this meeting. This is Simon Sahi. I'm with Signature Properties Los Altos, and I just wanted to give you a brief description about me. I help people looking to purchase homes in Silicon Valley, in up and down in Peninsula or South Bay. I would like to talk to you one-to-one, but if you have any particular questions about first-time home buyers, this is what you probably wanted to hear, and I wanted to hand it to Raul now from here.
Hello, I'm raul.chavez, lending officer for Bank of America. My NMLS ID is 1423048. I enjoy helping buyers throughout the process of the lending side. I strategically work in simplifying the process for my buyers to make the process as smooth as possible.
Nice. Okay, well, let's talk about the first topic. I wanted to say a little bit more about particularly homes in South Bay or Peninsula in different cities. There's different zip codes and different pricing, and I wanted to go more into that one-on-one with a first-time home buyer or either somebody who is um, haven't bought a property for the next 5, 10 years ago. So things have changed. So basically, what I do is when I'm doing a one-on-one meeting with you, either over the phone or in person, then we'll basically dial it down those specific areas, depending on where you work, or how close of the proximity that you're looking for properties where you are living now. And I educate and guide you through the process of what is in the market, what are the recent comps are, what is in the market now, what have recently sold or pending. So this is basically takes about 30 minutes of our time, but it actually builds up a very good foundation of um, as a buyer or a seller to figure it out which side you want to go to, and it actually helped me a lot to understand what you're looking for. So that's what I wanted to say. Do you want to add something to this, Raul?
Yeah, so on my end, for me to fully understand the purchase power of the buyer, I always like to start with a simple application. Every buyer is going to bring their own unique scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have that information, I could start working on getting a pre-qual letter. By then, the buyer is going to have a very good idea what is their purchase power. We would have gone over the payment. Um, we will go over some of the questions that they initially have. We'll be able to explore like what's their ultimate max.
And I'll also go over as a training second conversation is when we are preparing to write an offer. So that we can actually talk to Raul at the same time, what kind of contingencies or things like that we actually have to have in order to win the house. So typically in the market that we are in the Silicon Valley, we're against always 3 to 4 offers. So this actually gives you that extra step in understanding, gives you a better understanding how to be strategic buyer in this market and how to win the house in the process.
Yeah, and then just to add on a little bit about what you mentioned about being competitive, Bank of America does offer the opportunity to go through a process that it's fully underwritten. Fully underwritten, it's going to issue a pre-approval, which is going to be different than the
Okay.
pre-qual letter. The
Okay.
advantage of going through that process prior to even getting in contract is once you're approved, it's good for 90 days. Meaning,
Okay.
if you get in contract within those 90 days, that
Mm-hmm.
same underwriter who approved your file, it's going to be the same underwriter assigned to your file once in
Okay.
contract.
Okay.
No documents will be needed from the buyer. The
Okay.
only thing needed is an appraisal. That's
Okay.
all. And one of the
That's
advantages
huge.
that as the buyer, you could go in with a very strong offer, no
Right.
finance contingency. It's already fully approved
Right.
through the underwriter, not like through system generated approval.
Yes.
And you could go as we could close as early as 14 days. Which
That's
any little
that's a big
advantage in this
advantage.
market, it's something to consider.
Yes, yes. So I mean, I honestly wanted to add a little bit more to it. Having a pre-approval, especially there's going to be a bunch of first-time home buyers who are listening to this. I would highly encourage them to actually talk to Raul's to get their pre-approval letter going. So then, not only you, but I also can guide you into the right directions. Because typically, I can give a quick scenario. I have typically buyers who are saying that we're qualified for 1.5, but then once they have spoken with the lender, like Raul here, and then Raul says like, oh, you can actually be qualified for 1.7 million. and sometimes it's the other way around. You can only be qualified for 1.3. So I think it's always a good idea to talk to a lender, run some numbers, have not a online generated, numbers that people sometimes do. So I think it's very important to talk to run numbers, and just like Raul mentioned, that it's actually build your case solid. Then we can actually go in with a little bit more strategy, and then with no contingencies, typically will get you the house.
Yeah, and then more than just that, it's also just the process itself, right? If we do
Exactly.
this process beforehand, it's little to no stress. You're not in contract. There's no
Right. And it
timeline.
makes it easier.
There's no money being risked. There's no earning money deposit. Everything is like at your own pace. Obviously, I still have a time frame of when to collect all documents, but the whole point is once I give you that letter, it's a golden ticket. It's you and the agent are working out together. If you're in contract, consider it done. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's already been fully approved.
Yes.
It's just a matter of you finding your property at that point.
Yeah. So all in all, what you and I were both saying, that it's very important for somebody who is listening to this video to please call us and make a personal one-on-one appointment with us. We can either talk to you over the phone or meet you in person, and then go through the process with you. So then you are not going with your eyes, closed to purchase a property. So no matter what, if you're buying a house now or 6 months later, you have to go through this process. So if you start your process early, it will make it easier for you. You will beat the competition. And just like Raul says, it's going to help you make your life easier, his life easier, my life easier, and your life. In Eventually, we're all in one team. Raul, whoever's listening, and me, we're all in one team. Our only one goal is to actually get you the house. And if we don't strategize this, we're not going to be able to get that result. So that's the whole idea for this. And that being said, I wanted to actually also mention one more thing about looking at homes in person physically. Visit the homes, drive around the neighborhood, because it's a big, big purchase for anybody. So a lot of times I actually get calls from Zillow or other sources online. People are looking at homes online, and I would highly recommend people going to these homes physically, visit the homes, drive around the neighborhood, because it's a big, big purchase for anybody. So typically, I don't want to say bait and switch, but sometimes homes look good online, pictures wise, but when you go see the house, you're like, oh, I probably don't think the kitchen is right the way this was portrayed in the picture. So I would recommend to make an appointment with me, and then I can actually do a personalized tour for you, depending on your schedule, to show you the house, so then you the house and see if this actually makes sense to you. And I would really recommend driving around the neighborhood, and I can give you a little bit more background information about the property, why the sellers are selling the property, the features of the property, and all that. So that actually gives you a lot more information just by looking at homes online. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree with you.
Yes. Okay. So that being said, I mean, I think this is a video we actually created for people who are first-time home buyers who are thinking to purchase a property in the next few months. Would love to work with you, talk to you, and see if you guys are available to either have a one-on-one conversation with us. We will leave our phone numbers and email addresses in the description, but my phone number is 650-274-1134, and my email address is simon@sbsiliconvalley.com, or you can actually visit my website, simonsahi.com. I'm more than happy to go through the process of purchasing property, and this is not my first time. More than happy to explain you the process. It does take a little bit, but once you have seen few properties with me, I would have a better understanding what you're looking for, and I'm excited to actually work with you. That being said, I want Raul to end with the conversation.
Yeah, similar to your case. I mean, I want to say every file is very personal. Not file is
Yes.
going to be the same as the other one. Some are going to
Mhm.
be more straightforward. Some could get a little complex, right? But that's the whole purpose of getting that one-on-one, so we could fully, go over your scenario. And a lot of the times, things that are complex could be cut in half if your lending officer could guide you the right way. It doesn't
Exactly.
have to be as complex or as complicated. as if someone just saying, "Hey, I need all documents for everything," when maybe I didn't need half of those.
Right.
So yeah, it is important to just talk to a specialist to just help you navigate through this process. My phone number is 510-866-3013. My email is raul.chavez@bofa.com.
Sounds good. Well, look forward to hearing from the new prospective buyers and excited to explain you the whole process throughout. Raul and I do this all the time, so we're anxiously waiting to hear from you guys and love to working with you soon.
Thanks.